it's Stephanie with the Rancher's Homestead. Welcome back. So I am swimming in potatoes that I bought. I would love to say that these came from my garden, but they did not. My goal is to grow as much of our own food as possible. And so potatoes are one of those things that I would love to get to the place where we are growing an abundance of them. Right now, that is just not feasible with just moving into the new house and getting a new garden spot set up and all of that. So I am always constantly looking for produce that I can put up and store for the winter months or just throughout the year that I may not have grown, but I can find at a really good price. So we have a local Mennonite store to us that will have bulk produce that comes during the season that they come on sale. And so I went there actually in search of peaches, and I missed the peach drop. The thing is that everybody knows when they get a drop of a certain produce, and they usually sell out within the day or two. So you have to be Johnny on the spot. And I think I saw it 2 or 3 days late, so I knew I was taking a shot. I didn't get any. But they did have a huge bin of these potatoes. They're 10-pound bags of potatoes. I paid $17 for 50 pounds of potatoes. What I'm going to do with these is, well, I knew I needed to snag them while I had the chance. There was actually not very many bags left, and so I grabbed what I could, and I am actually going to turn these potatoes into freezer hash browns. Now, we don't love potatoes canned. They kind of get mushy with me. I have not done the dry canning method. I've only done where they say is safe to do, and that is with the water poured over them. But we just don't love them. We are using them in soups and stuff. You can still taste it, that they are different, and it's not worth my time to can them. So what we do love is we eat a ton of hash browns. And so last year with some potatoes that I'd grown in the garden and in our old garden spot, I put up a ton of frozen hash browns with those, and we went through them so fast with breakfast. I also make a crock pot cheesy potato using frozen shredded hash browns, and so it is wise to get bags and bags of hash browns on my shelf. So that is what I'm going to do with these today. I did not come up with this method. This is not something out of my own brain. This is from Everything Worth Preserving by Melissa K. Norris. Amazing cookbook. I guess it's just a preserving book because it's not just canning, it's all kinds of preserving. I absolutely love it. It is one of them that I share in my favorite canning and preserving cookbooks that I share. I'll share that link in the description. It's one of my favorites, and this comes from there on how to do this, and we love them. They actually don't take much time. So the first step that I'm actually going to do is get my ovens preheated. So I'm going to set them for 350. I have a double oven system, so I'm actually going to use up both ovens because I'm going to try and get all of these done in one shot. I'm going to wash all my potatoes and poke a few holes in them and stick them on some baking sheets that they can go into the oven, and they're easy to kind of transport in and out. So let's get these potatoes washed, get the ovens preheated and some holes poked into them so that they don't explode in my oven, and get them into the oven so that they get nice and soft. Okay, so I got all but about 15 pounds of potatoes left that I'll have to do on another round. I'm hoping all of these fit in my oven. So I'm gonna put them in my preheated 350-degree ovens for about an hour. Basically, you're just gonna do it until they're soft. You can poke a fork in them and they're completely soft. Then you're going to remove them from the oven. So I'm gonna have to do this in batches to get the rest of those done, but this is a really good start. I ran out of pan and I ran out of oven space, but we're gonna get these in the oven so that they can start to cook, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, some of the potatoes were done. They've been in there for about an hour. And what you're looking for is just take your biggest potato and stick your fork in. If it slides in very easily, then you know that they are ready to come out. I'm just gonna cool them down completely, and I'm actually gonna stick them in this ginormous bowl that I have and stick them in the fridge overnight. So I still have more potatoes that I need to cook. Once they have been in the refrigerator overnight, then we'll move on to the next step. If you're pushed for time, you can just have them in the fridge for about 2 hours, but it's evening time now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and stick them in my refrigerator overnight, and we'll move on to the next step tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day, and I have pulled all of my potatoes out of the oven, and now comes the kind of time-consuming part. Now we're just gonna take each of these potatoes, and you're going to shred them. And I just use my handheld shredder here, and just keep shredding them all and lay them flat on a cookie sheet or a baking sheet with parchment paper. So I do the parchment paper. It's easier to stick, and I just shred right on this, right on it, so that I don't have to dirty another bowl. Once you get down to the end, some of the skins do get put in here. I kind of pick a few of them out. They're not a huge deal to me. And then I just go ahead and throw the butt of the skin away. And I just keep working through them and shredding them. After you have all of your potatoes shredded, you're going to stick these back into the freezer. Or I guess they weren't in the freezer before, they were in the refrigerator. Now you're going to take them, put them in a single layer the best that you can, and stick them into the freezer. You're gonna freeze these completely, and then you'll go ahead and take them out. You can break them all apart. They'll kind of be a little bit chunked together, but not too bad, and stick them into a big Ziploc bag in the freezer. Label them, make sure you put the year in the contents just so you always know, and you will have freezer hash browns for all year long. This is a simple way to preserve potatoes. They don't take a whole lot of work. It's just time consuming with the wait times in the freezer and in the refrigerator, but not a whole lot of work that you need to do up front or manual labor, but a very simple way to freeze your potatoes or to get your potatoes preserved if you don't like to can them. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned something new, a new way to preserve food. Make sure to start stocking up your larder in your home, stocking your pantry with all this goodness and things that are in season right now, so that when they're not in season, you have plenty to pull from. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video. I send out one new video every single week. Jump on over to the blog and put in your email address. I send out an email a week over there on Tuesdays, and usually I have recipes and different things that I'm doing here in the kitchen or out in the garden or here on our homestead. I hope this video was helpful. We will see you next time. Take care.